Getting the most out of the money you make begins with financial literacy. And while that may sound complicated, Frida Owinga from Passion for Profit gives us an easy lesson on this episode of My Motivate from Sheila Lives Out Loud.
Where do we begin? Because we've all been told a tenth of your salary goes here, another tenth goes there, a third goes here, a fifth is here, an eighth goes to that.
Absolutely. Before we talk about what goes where, Sheila, I'd like to recommend we figure out what's our money personality.
Right.
And there are 4 money personalities. I wish I could remember the name of the lady I read it from, but there are 4 different money personalities. The first personality is a masser. A masser amasses money. They like to just keep it and have a lot of it.
Count it every day.
Yeah, they feel nice. They feel and have it in their wallet. They don't want coins.
Yes.
They're a masser. They amass money.
Right.
And then we have the spender. I think all Luos are spenders. All Luopians.
Yeah. Surprised
the
about...
spender likes to spend and likes to spend on nice things and likes to buy people nice gifts. They just spend. So they don't really think about saving it. They think more about spending it. So they rarely have enough to do they rarely have their priority in place to do the things that they really need to do, because they're always doing these fun splash things.
Right.
And then the other 2 are there's the spender, the masser, the hoarder. The hoarder hoards it. The hoarder is always worried about the rainy day. The hoarder they may want to invest, but they're afraid to give a financial investor, a professional, because they feel the person might not make the right decision and they might lose some. Because remember, they like hoarding it and they like knowing they have this lots of money. They don't necessarily spend it because they're also very careful about, going on vacation. They worry that the money might get finished.
So they're a little risk averse as well.
Yeah,
they're not going to take chances. They won't spend it when they don't have to.
No. Right. So that's the hoarder, and then there's the monk. The monk is just that, the monk. He feels if you have a lot of money, your money is filthy. Money is the root of all evil. If you have too much, it might corrupt you. They feel, and if maybe they get a windfall of it through inheritance or whatever, they feel guilty. They feel they don't deserve it. So they're kind of money shy. So it's important to understand what is your money personality, because when you understand your money personality, the good thing is you can adjust, because the spending plan I'm going to share with you right after this is where should your money go? How should you spend it? So whichever quarter you are, you can choose how to manage it so that it's not always walking away from you. Yeah. Then now you're becoming committed, because the first part of commitment is knowing which is my money personality.
Yeah.
Okay. And after you find out what is my money personality or what is your money personality, the next thing you want to do is, where are you with money? And there's the 5th one.
Wait, Frida, you said there were 4. No, there's another one.
Yeah, there's one more. And this is a very important one. We can't leave them out. I'm sorry. This is the avoider. The avoider avoids knowing. They don't want to know how much they have, how much they earn, how much they owe. They feel it's too complex. I need a competent person to do this, but they don't even get that competent person. So they're either always complaining, I don't have money, but they really don't know how much they're making.
Yeah.
And if they could sit down and find out, they might even be surprised. So that's the avoider.
All right, so we've gone through the different personalities, and the next step for us is to look at where we spend our money.
Absolutely.
And in looking at how we spend our money, the principles will apply whether you've got 200 million, 20 million, 2 million, 20 bob.
Absolutely.
They run true no matter what end of the spectrum you're at.
Yes.
So let's get going.
So how you spend your money, let's say you get 100,000.
Yeah.
If you earn 100,000, 50% of that should go to essentials. That's 50,000. Yeah. So that means you can't live in a house of 100,000. You can't earn 100,000 and live in a house of 120,000 or 80,000 or even 60,000, because 50,000 is for your rent and essentials. Yeah. Essentials are, you want to look pretty, you want to buy shoes,
you want to go out, exactly.
You want to go out and eat,
yes.
You want to whatever, all the different essential things, the shopping for your house, your lunch, going to work, your airtime, all that stuff should fit within this 50,000. But before you put that 50,000 aside, you need to put, if you're a Christian, we recommend you tithe. So you need to put 10% aside your tithe.
Yeah.
Because when you tithe, God blesses you back.
Is it gross or net? Oh, that's a
I know, that
conversation for
question.
another day.
It's a conversation we can take quickly.
Okay.
You know how much you make.
Yeah.
And before KRA takes the money, that's the amount you make, and that's what you should take 10% out of, because you don't want to play games with God.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, be very careful.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you see, they're going to have some other bonuses, some other commissions, 10% of that too.
Yeah.
The next 10% is for you for a rainy day. You know how sometimes you just wake up and there's a puncture, and then you start driving the car, you hear a strange noise, you know. So it's good to have this 10% for moments like this. Those are the rainy days.
Yeah.
So the next 10%, pay yourself. And then the next is 30%. Remember, we are not at 90 because you already took 50% should go for your essentials.
Yeah.
All right. And your essentials is your rent and whatever you like to do for yourself. So we have 50, 10, 10, and then 30. 30% should go to what I call your do-good account. In December, you have pressure. You want to go to Mombasa, you want to go to Dubai, you want to go wherever. You want to do a CSR program. So this 30%, that is what it should take care of.
Yeah.
So it can take care of your holidays, whatever good thing you want to do for yourself or others. So you always have this 30%. Somebody wants you to participate in a wedding, that's a do-good. It's not a rainy day.
Let us jump into the cardinal sins of the entrepreneur and money, because we come in here hoping to make money.
That's right.
But for many, you come in here to spend money.
But money is for spending, Sheila.
Yeah, but it's so much nicer when it's on you, not
I
you
agree.
spending it.
I agree. I really agree.
Right.
As an entrepreneur, what I've observed is most of us get into entrepreneurship or owning a business so that we can have extra money. Unfortunately, again, we are interested in making money. We are not committed. Because if you're committed in making money, we need to have a business plan. And the business plan will show us how to use the resources that we have. And when I talk about resources, I'm talking about how we'll spend our time, the people we need to hire and when we need to hire them, and how much money we need to start this organization or this wealth creation vehicle, as sometimes I like to call it. How much will we need to run it, the working capital, how much will we need, how much will it be making, and when will we know when that money is growing, and as the money is growing, what do we do with that money? So I think the first mistake we make as entrepreneurs is thinking that a business plan is not, we don't need a business plan. That's an academic tool. But a business plan is a tool that can help a business owner. In fact, we've just had a business planning workshop because I've made it as simple as possible so that you don't run away from it. So you don't just make it when you need an investor, because this is what guides you in your business. This is how you know.
Business Bible. Really?
Yeah, one of our facilitators says it's your business Bible. I call it, it's your to-do list. It's what will guide. It's your roadmap. So without that, you're guessing. Because oftentimes people come and ask me, when do I hire? I can't pay myself. And I'm like, if you can't pay yourself, then you need to find a job. You shouldn't be working for free, or you should go and volunteer. It doesn't make sense. So the beginning of our problems as entrepreneurs is the mindset that we go into the business with, thinking it's okay to go for months without pay, thinking it's okay to do all the work by yourself because you don't know how to apportion the money. So the important thing is you need to have a budget to know how much you need to how much you get as a salary, how much is needed to take care of the business. And I find that many of them find that a very hard conversation. Some even try to convince me that, Frida, this business is small. I still can't pay myself. Then I ask them, if you can't pay yourself, one day you're going to hire somebody to stand in the role that you're standing. How will that person be? How will it be? Will that person come in for free? So it's a reality check. If you can't pay yourself, you can't hire anybody. Because how will you hire somebody? Can you imagine going to Safaricom or any of the big corporates and saying, I need a job, and they tell you, we're still not making money. Would you just come for 3-4 months for free? Heck no.
It does not work like that.
So we need a paradigm shift to understand that if you're getting into business to create wealth, you need to follow the process, or you're not going to experience that wealth. And part of the process is having that tool, the business plan. The next thing, your business is registered. If people want to pay you, they're paying you through the business. And because you have a budget, when the money comes through the business, you know the things that you need to pay. You have a salary, so you're not dipping and dabbing into that account. Because this can also get you in trouble with the taxman, which is a story for another day.
That is definitely a few chapters for another day. But again, as an entrepreneur, you know, businesses have different needs at different times. There's all kinds of things that you've got to worry about. You're looking at hiring, you're looking at marketing, you're looking at so many different things, and each one of them is asking for finance. Yeah. So when it comes to, you know, dividing the money for your operation, what are the healthy portions? Because we've looked at the personal side of things, yes, and said X amount, X percent is okay for this, that percent for this. Is there a similar amount for businesses?
I'll be cautious to give the percentages, Sheila, because different businesses are at very different stages and have different needs, just like you said earlier. What we recommend at PassionProfit now, when you come to us, you're starting or you're stuck, we must help you get a business plan. And we don't want entrepreneurs to be scared about a business plan. It's a roadmap, and it's a roadmap that will help them to answer these questions. Because based on what you want to sell, what is the problem you're solving, based on the client that you'll have, based on the current market, you know, situation, then we can, and based on how much money you have to start or you don't have, all these factors will come into play, and then we can determine what percent goes where. But the key thing, the business plan will help you see what resources do you need to start. How will the resources be coming in and how will they be managed? At what point do you need to start paying somebody else? And with the business plan, you will know from day one, you need X amount to start this business, so you will hold and save for that money, find that money before you start. Because starting without it is what is hurting most of us. Starting without it, because when you start and you're thinking, I'm going to sell this, I'm going to sell this, I'm going to sell this, and they're going to pay me, what if they don't pay you? Then you start getting frustrated, putting people on buyers beware, and all that kind of frustration. You don't need that stress. You need to know that the first 12 to 18 months, you may not get money. It's not normal that you have to get paid. You're not a trader, you're an entrepreneur. So you must have a cushion. And having a cushion is knowing that if XYZ company is late, I don't have to lose sleep because I have a cushion. But I do have policies, a credit policy in place that will make sure that they pay me. But we do things all jumbled up. There's no credit policy in place. You've given somebody a service, they've given you a check, and a post-dated check. By the way, a post-dated check is not a payment. Because on the very day before the date comes, somebody's going to call you. What are you going to do? So I'm very cautious to give the percentages. The first thing I recommend is get a business plan.
There's one thing that many young businesses, and especially young entrepreneurs, you lose out a lot of money because of bad debt. How do you fix this? How do you get your money? Or is this one of those things that, you know, c'est la vie, it's a lesson learned, keep it moving? How do you deal with bad debt?
Again, you start from the beginning. Before you give anyone credit, you need to know this person. So that's, at PassionProfit, we help you design a credit policy. And having a credit policy is deciding before that person who wants credit comes. Because normally when that person comes, we feel it's too late, I need the money. If I don't get this person, I won't get the cash. But credit is not cash in the bank, all right? So the first thing is having a credit policy. And your credit policy could go something like, before we start giving you credit, we need to work with you for maybe 90 days, you know, and then we get to know you, we get to know how much you spend. And when we know how much you spend, then we will not give you, let's say you spend 100,000 on our products every month. We shouldn't give you credit for 100,000. We can give you credit of maybe 70, 60% of that. And when that reaches, then we stop until you pay that. So we are safer as opposed to just giving you an open blank check. And then the other thing is, and then having this conversation at the front end with the client. So you don't give someone credit the first time. You need to know them. And then you also, after they've proven themselves, who gives you credit the first time anywhere? A real
Not even a bank is going to do that.
Exactly.
So no.
Even you, if somebody asks you for money, you kind of check them out first. You might call a few people to see, have you ever given
I don't know money? You like this.
Yeah, you get? So get to know who gives them credit. Even ask them for their bank account. And you see, if you have a policy, that means it's written down. And when they say they need credit, you tell them, this is our credit policy. You print it out and check. So then there's no emotion of,
they're not thinking, oh, you did this to me, but you know, you know me.
No, he may be a
that expression. See, unanijua, you know me.
Say nakujua kabisa, lakini
it's because I know you.
This is the company policy.
Right.
It is no longer Frida. But you know, because you are the front and center of the business, then it becomes an emotional conversation. It doesn't need to be.
And it doesn't
So
have
it's
to
not
be.
really bad debt. I call it ignorant debt.